Ever find yourself reaching for that mid-afternoon snack only to feel guilty about it later? Well, what if I told you could satisfy those cravings and still stay on top of those health goals? Processed snacks, sugar granola bars, and chips, sure they seem like a quick fix, but they only leave you craving more. With busy workdays and back-to-school schedules, it can be easy to grab a quick, unhealthy snack that can leave you feeling sluggish or maybe even feeling a little bit regretful later. Sound familiar? Well, today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 simple and healthy snacks for work or for those back-to-school lunches, and these are going to keep you fueled throughout the day. And the best part is they are so simple to whip out because ain't nobody got time for no elaborate meal prep when it comes to snacks, especially when you're juggling those busy schedules and that back to school routine. So let's dive in. All right, so let's start with granola because it's everywhere, right? It's marketed as this super healthy food because it has things like nuts and seeds, so it's totally healthy, right? Wrong. Here's the dirty secret that most brands don't want you to know. Granola is basically candy in disguise. We're talking refined sugars, lots and lots of sugars, inflammatory oils like canola as well as soy, a lot of natural flavors which are actually produced in labs, not really the type of stuff that you want to put in your body, and certainly things that aren't healthy for you. Some brands even pack an entire day's worth of sugar in just one serving. That's not fuel for your body. That is a recipe for a sugar crash at 3 p.m. The solution? Make your own granola. It is so easy to make, and the best part about it is that it can last for months in your fridge or even in your freezer. When you control the ingredients, you get things like wholesome nuts and seeds without all of the junk. My maple almond granola clusters are perfect as a cereal with your favorite milk. You can sprinkle it on top of oatmeal, or my ultimate favorite is to layer it in a yogurt parfait with some fresh berries for a protein-packed snack. All right, so I've already preheated my oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and I also have a baking sheet ready to go that I've lined with parchment paper. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is add some oats into the bowl. So I'm adding about 3 cups of the oats, but again, if you want the recipe is in the description. Next, I'm gonna add in some almond flour, and almond flour is one of my favorite ingredients to use in the kitchen. It's a great source of protein, it's a great source of healthy fats, and I also find that it adds a lot of flavor to this granola as well versus using regular all-purpose flour. And the other reason why I don't really like using regular all-purpose flour is because it's really heavily refined, it's bleached, and all of the nutrients have basically been removed from it. All right, so next, speaking of healthy fats, we're gonna add in some almonds. So you can add in sliced almonds. I have a combination here of some sliced almonds, and then I also have some chopped almonds as well. I just like to have like a little bit of a different texture in my granola, but again, it's up to you. You can just either or use the sliced almonds, or you can use the chopped almonds, totally up to you. Next, I'm adding pepitas. This is another like secret weapon ingredient that I love using in my recipes because it is such a great source of both iron and magnesium. And a lot of women are actually deficient in both iron and magnesium. And iron is important for those energy levels, while magnesium is known as that anti-stress nutrient, and who could use a little bit of that? All right, so next I'm gonna add in some dried cranberries like so, and then we're just gonna mix everything in the bowl. I told you guys, like this is easy, right? Feels doable so far. All right, so we're just gonna mix everything up in a bowl like that. Don't have to get crazy with it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to the stove and we're gonna add all together those wet ingredients. So let's go ahead and just do that right now. Okay, so in a medium saucepan over medium heat, we're gonna add in some coconut oil. Again, a great source of healthy fats here. And I love using coconut oil as a replacement for butter in a lot of my recipes. Next, I'm gonna use some coconut palm sugar. Again, coconut palm sugar is always a healthy spot that I like to use in the kitchen because it doesn't spike your blood sugar as much. So we're gonna put that in there. We're also gonna add some maple syrup as well because this is gonna help to be like a binder to help to bind all of those delicious maple almond granola clusters together. And then we're gonna just whisk everything together until the sugar starts to dissolve. So this should just take a couple of minutes. So I'm switching over to a spoon because I bought these pots very recently and I forgot I'm not supposed to be using metal utensils in them. So I'm just gonna use this wooden spoon instead. All right, so I'm seeing some bubbles here and the sugar is nice and dissolved. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna remove this from the heat. And once I remove this from the heat, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going to whisk in that vanilla extract. And now it's time to move on to the next step. All right, so one thing I forgot to add was just a pinch of salt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that in. and then just stir that around with the dry ingredients. Okay, so now what we wanna do is we wanna take that nice sticky solution, I don't know what to call it, sticky mixture we'll call it, that we just made, and we wanna pour this mixture over the oats. Like I don't know, I love pouring things. Is that strange that I love pouring things? But just look how beautiful that looks. Oh my God, I just like a nice, I don't know, I'm strange like that. Don't mind me guys. All right, so I'm just gonna mix all of this together. We just wanna stir until everything is like evenly coated and sticky. Just make sure you keep going to like the bottom of the bowl, because sometimes the sticky solution, that sticky mixture will actually fall to the bottom of the bowl, and you don't want to miss out on any of that goodness. So we just want to make sure we're getting right to the bottom of the bowl and just getting all of that mixed together. This is actually a pretty good arm workout today. I'm loving this because I didn't have a chance to work out since I was shooting videos today. All right, so this is looking good. It's smelling good too. So if you find that your mixture is a little bit too dry, let's talk about that. If you find that your mixture is a little bit too dry, this one looks pretty good. But if you find your mixture is a little bit too dry, what you could do is add a little bit more melted coconut oil, or you can add a little bit more maple syrup. Okay, so the next thing we wanna do is we wanna transfer this mixture to a prepared baking sheet. So I'm gonna grab that baking sheet that I shared with you guys earlier. So I'm gonna put this here like so, and then now we just wanna transfer this mixture onto the baking sheet. Okay, so now we're just gonna take this mixture and we're just gonna pop it onto the baking sheet. So my parchment paper here, it's not as wide as my baking sheet, but you know what? Done is better than perfect, so we're not even gonna worry about that. What we are gonna worry about, or not worry about, what we are gonna enjoy is adding this delicious granola to the baking sheet. I just wanna get a spoon and just eat this. It smells so good and it just looks so good. And I love these pops of color in there as well, like with the green from the pepitas, and then you have like the dried cranberries, you get those pops of red. Ooh, guys, this is looking good. Okay, so what you wanna do here is, as I like pick my tongue up off the floor here, because I'm like literally drooling. So what you wanna do here is you just wanna start like patting this down, like pressing it down firmly with a spatula. And I'm probably gonna switch over to the spatula that you see over here on my right, maybe your left. I'm just gonna probably press it down with that. I just kinda wanna get it a little bit more spread out. Just gonna do that. Okay, so this is a little bit more spread out. All right. So now we're gonna just take this spatula and I'm just gonna press it down just like a little bit more firmly. If you want, you can just guide it with your hands. That's what I'm gonna do here. Get this hair out the way. Oh my goodness. This is looking good, guys. Actually, yeah, I would recommend this. Like if you're gonna use like the spatula to press it down, first of all, you should be using a spatula to press it down. And I would actually just kind of just use the palm of your hand to press down on le spatula. So let's do that. Okay, this is good. All right, so you're probably wondering, okay, so what's next? What do we do next? Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is, we're gonna eat it. No, we're not gonna eat it. We are going to put it in the oven. So we wanna bake this in the oven for about 40 minutes. But what we wanna do is, and this is, you don't have to do this, but I recommend doing this. Once you put this in the oven, so we're putting it in the oven for 40 minutes, we wanna rotate the spatula, I would say every 10 minutes, because you just wanna make sure that you're ensuring even baking. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in the oven and I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so now what we wanna do is we wanna cut the granola into squares as much as you possibly can. And then we're gonna break them up into smaller clusters. And then we're gonna put them back into the oven. So let's just try to break this into a square. Now, another option you can do here as well is you can transfer this whole granola slab to like, let's say like a baking sheet, and you can cut it on the baking sheet as well. That probably would have been easier to do, but I'm trying to minimize the amount of cleanup in the kitchen here today. So I'm just trying to cut this right on the baking sheet. So that's what I'm gonna do. But you do you, boo. For those of you who are wondering, this is not directly on my counter. I do have a little bit of a towel underneath there. Keep my counter safe. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure I get all the way through there. And then again, just cutting into squares. Now it's not gonna be perfect squares, so don't kill yourself to get perfect squares here, guys. Square is relative. I mean, they might be rectangles, right? All right, so that looks good. Maybe some granola flying towards me here. Okay, so now that we have them broken into squares, so the next thing we want to do is we just want to break them into like some smaller clusters. Okay, so we're just going to do that. Again, doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, now what we want to do next after we break it into the smaller clusters is put it back in the oven. And the reason why we want to do that is because we want the edges of the clusters to kind of firm up a little bit. If you're going to be using this for cereal, let's say mostly, then I would probably do like bigger clusters. If you're going to be doing like a parfait, like what I'm about to do in a minute, then you could probably do like some smaller, maybe even some medium-sized clusters. It just all really depends. I just love doing things in the kitchen where I'm like actually touching things and using my hands. So I do really I love the act of making granola, as strange as that sounds. Maybe let me know in the comments. Like if there's certain dishes you guys like where you kind of like feel and touch stuff, like let me know if you have some of those favorite recipes as well. Okay, so we're gonna spread them out as much as we possibly can. This baking sheet isn't the largest, so we're just gonna do what we can here. We just wanna spread them out, but man, oh man, like these are looking like so good. They smell absolutely delicious as well. So now we're gonna pop this back in the oven. I would say for about 10 minutes. Again, we just want like the edges of the clusters just to firm up just a little bit. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so once these clusters are done, you just want to remove them from the oven and just allow them to just cool completely. So the longer that they cool is the crunchier that they're going to become. Okay, so let's talk about storing. So you can store these clusters in an airtight container at room temperature for about a week, or you can freeze them for about 3 months. Okay, but if you do pop them in the freezer, once you're ready to eat them, just thaw them at room temperature. Now, I said 3 snacks, but I feel like it's actually 4 because you can eat this granola on its own if you like, or you can make a granola parfait, which is what I'm gonna do right now. All right, next up, we're gonna make that granola parfait. So to make the parfait, I'm using the non-too good yogurt. And I absolutely love this yogurt because it has 8 grams of protein and only 2 grams of sugar per serving. Now, this is not a sponsored post, but I just really love this yogurt because it's a really tasty, just really delicious afternoon or evening snack to help you to meet your protein goals. And it's really creamy and delicious too. So to start off this parfait, I'm just gonna take this yogurt and I'm just gonna put it in the bottom. And I'm probably gonna use 2 yogurts here just because I really like this yogurt that much, yo. I'm dead serious, like it's so good. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit there in the bottom. And next I'm gonna take some strawberries. So I just have like a few strawberries here. Just pop them over here. And I'll just put maybe just like a few strawberries in there. And then I will just break up some granola clusters in here. And the great thing about making this granola at home is that it's made with wholesome ingredients and you know exactly what you're putting into your body. All right, so now I'm gonna add a little bit more yogurt on the top. Again, you can use whatever yogurt you like. I just happen to really be liking this one right now. My husband really likes this one as well. If I come home from grocery shopping without it, he is not happy. So we're gonna just put probably 2 of these guys in like so. All right. And then I'll just add a little bit more of that granola on the top. I'm gonna get some with some more cranberries in it. Okay, like so. I'll put that there. And then I'm just gonna pop in just a few more strawberries because we love those nice juicy berries that have all of the goodness in it. All right, there you go. An easy and delicious snack for work or for those back to school activities, getting back into that routine. We have this delicious maple almond granola made with wholesome ingredients. You can make this at home. Absolutely delicious. Next up, let's talk crackers, but not the ultra processed kind that's filled with lots of hidden sugars and additives. Nope, we are making a healthier version at home that you can actually feel good about, and that tastes really delicious too. If you walk down any grocery aisle, you'll find lots of ultra processed options that contain lots of different hidden sugars and different additives. But these homemade seasoned crackers, they use that almond flour magic. So you're gonna get protein, you're gonna get healthy fats, and they're just gonna make you feel satisfied and fuller for a longer period of time rather than those cardboard options that you get in the grocery store. They're perfect for on-the-go snacking, for that work snack, or tucking into the kids' lunchboxes for a nice healthy treat without the guilt. The best part is you know exactly what's going into your body and you know that you're eating something that actually nourishes you. Another great thing about these crackers is that they're packed with nourishing ingredients that don't spike your blood sugar levels. Now let's dive in. All right, so this is one bowl, so simple to whip up. We're just gonna dump everything you see here right into this bowl. Preheated my oven to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so the first ingredient we're gonna add in is that almond flour, which you guys know that I love. Great source of protein, healthy fats, and it's just gonna make these crackers taste absolutely delicious. Then we're gonna add an egg next. Now, if you wanna make this vegan, what you could do, it would probably be really delicious too, is a flaxseed egg. So just taking some ground flaxseed, mixing it with water, and then that way you have a vegan version. Now, in true transparency, I haven't tried it that way yet, but if you do try it with the flax egg, please let me know how it turned out. All right, so next I'm gonna add some sea salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder, parsley, and I'm adding basil. Normally I would add dill to these, but I couldn't find dill anywhere in the grocery store. So I'm using basil instead, but I do actually really like these with dill. And lastly, I'm gonna add in some cream of tartar, and this is just gonna help us to bind everything together. It kind of acts as like our leavening agent. Now, if you don't have cream of tartar, no problem. You can actually just use baking powder. But again, cream of tartar is just it acts as a stabilizing agent. All right, so what we wanna do is just mix everything together, okay? And then once we mix it together, what we're kind of looking for here is we want the dough to come together into a ball. So I'm just gonna mix all of this up. I just love, I don't know about you guys, let me know in the comments, but I just love like a one bowl situation. I like a one bowl, I like a one pot, just so I don't have to use so many different bowls and plates and that sort of thing. I just love when everything is just in one bowl as much as possible. Okay, so if the dough is a little bit dry, what you could do is you can add a little bit of water. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to form this into a ball. Let's see here. Actually, yeah, this is good. Okay, this is looking good. I think I can form this into a ball now. So if it's too dry, add a little bit of water. If you find maybe you add a little bit too much water, now it's too wet, just add a little bit more almond flour, but you definitely just want to do it a little bit at a time. Now, the thing with almond flour too is sometimes it can be deceiving because at first I thought maybe it might be too dry, but almond flour is like a sponge. It's highly absorbent. So as I just continue to mix, as you can see here, it just got a lot more moist, like so. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to put this into a ball, okay? So I'm just going to form this into a ball, like so. Again, guys, I can't even tell you, I know this is such a weird thing. I don't know what you want to call it, but I love doing things with my hands. I like really getting in there with my food and just really touching, feeling stuff. I don't know, it's kind of strange. I know, yes, I know, but it's something that I really, really love to do. I like to get up close and personal with my food. All right, so we're just gonna gather all of these remaining crumbs. I'm gonna form it into a ball. We're not gonna bounce it because it's not that type of ball. We are gonna put it into a ball. All right, so the next thing we do when we have it into a ball is we wanna roll this out on a cutting board. So I'm gonna do that next step right now, but look how cute that is. Okay, so next we're gonna take that little ball that we just made. We're gonna put it on our parchment paper, so I just have a cutting board right underneath it. So we're just gonna put the ball on top. And then what we wanna do is take another piece of parchment paper, like so, and then we wanna put it on the top, okay? And then now we just wanna take our rolling pin and roll it. I love using my rolling pin. It's a rolling pin is just one of those things that you just don't really get to use in the kitchen very often. So I'm just gonna squish it down a little bit first, and then I'm just gonna roll it. And I think because I have dough on my hands, I'm having a hard time getting a bit of a grip here, but all right, so let's just roll it out. If it's moving around like it is on me, just try hard not to get too frustrated. Okay, so we wanna roll this out. Just, you know what? I don't even really wanna tell you how thin to roll it. It just depends on what cracker thickness you like. I think I'm gonna do maybe I don't know, maybe half an inch. We just wanna keep rolling, rolling, rolling. I know this is going all over the place here. Yeah, but just keep rolling it out to as thin as you would like it to be. If you have some escaping, you can just kind of take it out like I did, and then you could just put it back underneath there, and then you can just roll again. This is feeling good. Let's just take a look actually and just see where we're at. Okay, I think this is good. I like this thickness. Yeah, I feel good about this. All right, so we're gonna just roll this off. All right, so the next thing you wanna do is get a pizza cutter and you just wanna cut a grid across the dough, okay? So this may or may not give you a square shape. Again, it just really depends. Like I just don't like people stressing to be perfect when it comes to like cooking stuff or like cutting stuff, because sometimes cooking can be stressful. All right, so we'll just do that. Again, this is not like perfect here. And really it just depends on like how big you want your crackers to be. I think I'm gonna make these ones like a little bit thinner. So I'll go here like that. And I think maybe this could be a cracker like that. Okay, so now you've just kind of cut them into like a grid shape. I don't know how many crackers I have here. I don't wanna count because I don't like counting on camera. But anyways, so now you have your crackers that are just kind of cut out. So now what you want to do is you want to transfer this cut dough onto your baking sheet. So I'm going to take my baking sheet here. It was a little warm because I had it on top of the oven because I had preheated the oven. So I'm actually just going to put this little thing underneath it and then I'm just going to put this on top there. So now what you want to do is you want to transfer this cut dough that you just cut up onto your baking sheet. Okay. Nice and easy peasy. There you go. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is you just want to bake it in the oven. I would say maybe for about 10 minutes, but just check it. Basically what you're looking for is you're just looking for the tops of the crackers to be just a little bit brown. Okay. Not like burnt, but like just a little bit brown. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that into the oven right now. Ooh, these crackers taste absolutely amazing. And the best part is you know exactly what's going into your body. There's no mystery ingredients, no preservatives, just real food that actually nourishes you. So true transparency, I already did a little bit of a taste test and they taste so good. I think the only thing I would do is after you break them apart, when you take them out of the oven, I'd probably pop them back in the oven for a few more minutes just so that the edges can kind of crisp up a little bit. And that way you'll have an extra crispy cracker, but so good. Finally, let's satisfy that sweet tooth the right way. These chocolate protein balls are your secret weapon in fighting against sugar cravings, and they are perfect when you need that afternoon snack. They're packed with protein and healthy fats to actually help you to feel full, not just temporarily satisfied. All right, so the first thing we want to add to the bowl are some oats. So I'm going to pop that in there. Next, I'm going to add some plant-based protein powder. And I like adding plant-based protein powder for that sustained energy boost, but the real star here is the one I'm going to add next, stuck in there. Make sure we get all that protein in there. The real star of this recipe here is this. This is raw cacao powder. Now, this isn't your average cocoa powder. Raw cacao powder is literally one of the richest sources of antioxidants on the planet. It naturally boosts your mood, it fights fatigue, and studies even show that it may help with fat burning as well. So I'm popping that in there. Next, I'm adding in some chia seeds. They aren't just for chia seed puddings, guys. These are great in these protein balls as well. These little powerhouses, there's so much goodness in here. First of all, omega-3 fatty acids, and a lot of people aren't getting enough omega-3 fats in their diet. Getting a lot of omega-6 fatty acids, which are inflammatory, but not enough omega-3 fatty acids, which provide anti-inflammatory benefits that may also boost your brain power. The other great thing about chia seeds is that they're a really great source of protein and fiber, so this helps to keep your blood sugar levels stable. This is why this really is a great afternoon snack. So that's gonna help to minimize those afternoon slumps. So once we have all of those dry ingredients together, we just kind of want to or in the bowl, we just want to mix everything together like so. So I'm just gonna mix that all around like that. And then next I'm gonna add in some of those remaining ingredients. I was gonna say wet ingredients, but they're not all wet. One of them's not. You'll see which one I mean. All right, so next I'm gonna add in some almond butter. Ooh, I love me some almond butter. Good source of healthy fat. Just makes everything taste absolutely delicious. So we're gonna put that in there like so. We wanna get all that almond butter because sometimes almond butter, y'all, can be pricey. So we just wanna make sure we're not wasting any of that. All right, so next thing we want to add in is maple syrup. Again, this is optional, but if you want a little bit of sweetness, you can add that. I'm going to add in a pinch of sea salt. That was our ingredient that was not wet. Pinch of sea salt. And then I'm going to add in some almond milk as well, but I'm just going to add in just a little bit at a time. So I have about 2 tablespoons in this little cup here, but I'm just going to add in just a little bit at a time. Okay, so we're just gonna mix everything together. Okay. Now, if the mixture feels a little bit dry, you can add a little bit more almond milk. And in fact, I think I might actually add a little bit more almond milk to this mixture. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more almond milk here and just keep mixing it. Okay, because again, we want everything to be fully combined here. Yeah, so basically we're just looking to be able to just form a dough because we wanna roll them into the balls. So that is the next step. Once we have everything combined, we just wanna roll everything into balls. Now, you can make them as big or as small as you like. I am probably gonna do maybe about 1-inch balls. So let me just clean up everything here and move this all off to the side. And then I'll bring this in like so. And then we will form those balls. Maybe I'll put this off here. All right, now we're moving and shaking. Okay, so now we're gonna get this and then we're just going to form them into balls. I'm just gonna take off a little bit here, put them in my hand, roll them around. When you're rolling them into balls, just a light touch. This one's probably a little bit bigger than I probably would have made it, but yeah, just like a light touch when you're rolling into the ball, but there you go. If you guys can see that, little ball. Now, this is optional, but if you want, you can roll the balls in a little bit of extra raw cacao powder, or you can actually put some chocolate chips on them. So that's what I'm gonna do because I love chocolate, as do most people. So I'm actually just gonna stick some like chocolate chips just inside of them. You can roll them into the chocolate chips, but I find actually if you just put them in there like so, like if you even have to take like the pointed part of the chocolate chip and put it in there, it stays in there like a lot better as one falls out. Come on, chocolate chips, don't be showing me up on YouTube. All right, okay, so I have 11 balls here. I probably could have got 12 if I just made maybe this first one and this one in my hand here, just a little bit smaller. But I'm gonna put them in the fridge for about 30 minutes. But before I do that, I just wanted to let you guys know that these little powerhouses, they really prove that healthy doesn't have to mean sacrificing flavor. You can get that rich chocolate satisfaction while actually fueling your body with nutrients, like all the ones that we talked about here earlier. So I'm gonna go ahead now and pop them in the fridge for about 30 minutes. So there you have it. 3 simple, healthy snacks to fuel you throughout the day. These snacks are so easy to make. They are packed with nutrition. They're perfect for work, for school, or just when you need a quick snack. But wait, before you go, one more thing. In my next video, I'm gonna be sharing some of my top tips for managing those pesky cravings without feeling deprived. You won't wanna miss it.